Alright, today's video we are going to explain how power leveling actually works. Whether this is pinnacle, low end, this information can be used for all. Obviously 450 to or 400 to 450 this will be the most useful for. We're going to first read this comment from the video we found. We made a video a few days ago about a bug we discovered that's absolutely crazy. And we're going to actually read this comment because this comment shows that a lot of people don't know what's going on, and I don't blame them because there's a lot of misinformation. There's just a lot of information that's not fully scaled perfectly. So we're going to explain how this works. So let's read the comment real quick. Are you sure this affects 400 plus? Because I was under the impression that B plus and A were efficiently the same for 400 plus, since the prime will drop at the higher level anyway. I could be wrong because there is so much conflicted information with this power grind, and this does of course affect pre 400 a lot. Interesting to say though, I would not have caught this bug. Okay, so he is correct. Yes, there is truth to what he just said. A plus and B, or sorry, B plus and A, you can get pinnacle, powerfuls, whatever you want to call them, to drop. The things that drop when you're 400 to 450. That is true, yes. But, here's the but. You can make them drop a lot more often and a lot more commonly with some simple things, including your score. You should never want B+. So, we are going to actually show a video by Esoteric. He explains this stuff a little bit, and then we're going to explain it more in detail because this was 2 weeks ago when we didn't fully understand it all. There's a common misunderstanding of how the rating system works. A lot of people think forecast B plus means you're going to get A. That's not how this works. In both of these clips, both runs forecast B plus tier. One gives me B plus, the other gives me A tier after, or A tier rewards Y. I love this guy. He actually explains this really well. Both of the runs also completed the bonus objective. As you see there, the bonus objective is completed at the bottom. Both completed within this. The reason is because final reward score is all that matters. Not the forecast score, nor the score at the bottom right. Okay, this technically is true and also wrong. The forecasted score actually does matter quite a bit, which we're about to discover, and I'm about to explain. But he's right, it is not what matters the most. It is definitely the end score that matters of everything. If your end score is high enough, you will get the rewards. Let's continue. The score at the bottom right is just a joke, too. Don't follow it. It lies to you a lot. The B plus to A tier only works when your final score reaches the A requirements. It's not that B plus is automatically turning into A tier. A lot of people thought this right away. I do not know why. It was obvious as a point. If you literally clicked on the thing, the rewards, it shows you this right here. You can check the exact score needed by clicking the forecasted score. So it shows if he's going to have a B plus score, right? Forecasted. He needs 760,700 points. That's a lot of points, right? But look what happens when he turns it to A tier. He now needs 950,800 points when he gets those points total. This is where Bungie kind of needs to fix it in-game. It needs to show you the actual points, not the bullshit points it shows you, because those points aren't real and they mean nothing in the long run. As long as this information is here, we should have this actually in the round when we're playing the game. But that's a different problem entirely for now. We'll get into that later. Or we'll get into that in another video. But yeah, as you see, so some LC says here, overall time spent will influence points along with your season pass bonus. How many pieces of new gear you have on will also impact your final score. So the faster you are in these activities, the higher score points you get. So it will say like, so when I complete them, I always get 164 or 154 points, it says. And that is for the bottom right corner score points, the one that goes up to 10,101. But those aren't the real points. I don't know exactly how much I'm getting. I could go test that out and figure it out, but I'm not going to because it's a waste of time for farming, in my opinion, which we'll get to in a second. But basically, every time you complete something in the activity, when it says it gives you points, it is giving you extra points in the background, which will equal your total score, which, as he showed here, if he wants A rank, he needs to hit 950,000 points. Well, nearly 951,000 points to be able to do it. New gear also affects it, which we will show in a second works, and then also season pass, which we'll also show. So yeah. So if you're having this issue where B plus is not turning to A tier, this is why. You need to check your score and adjust accordingly. So what he means by that is right here, as you see, I have 1,007,000, right, and 290. If I click on the thing right here, it will tell me what rank A is. It's only 1,003,000 needed. I have a lot more than that, or a few thousand more actually, just a few thousand more than that. So if I go to B plus, it's 803,000. If I want A tier, it's 1,000,000. Huge difference, right? That's a lot of difference right there. So how you'd adjust the score is literally by the exact means of doing what you always do, right? If I unequip these, you see my score goes down, my points go down, everything goes down slowly, right? Simple as that. So all you have to do is adjust based on these, you know, figure it out, get your points. If you want to hit almost basically a guaranteed A plus every time, or sorry, A tier if you want to do B plus, then all you have to do is make sure the B, where this B is right here, it's under this B. But the only way this works is if you have enough gear, which we'll show here in a second. Something else. So, personally speaking, I know for a fact you should always go for A tier, especially between the 400 and 450 grind. A tier is the only thing you want. We will watch a second. Clyde, he makes a video of speedrunning, and yes, speedrunning is not bad. The way to do that still does give you primes, but I'm going to show you it is actually worse to do it that way. Even though you're a little quicker, it's way worse in the long run. So, as you see here, I'm 1,007,000. If I hit confirm and then I back out real quick, and I go over to view journey, and then I click on my character, as you see here, I have new gear here, but this is not new gear. If I put this new gear on, the last piece I'm missing, and then I go here. Oh, sorry, wrong thing. If we go to the portal, we click on solo ops again. We click on K1 like we had it. As you will see, my score, which is right here, is now 1,024,000. It gone up quite a bit more, right? Like, that's several thousand more. That is double the thousands, not obviously in millions, but the 1,000 parts, that's double the thousands. That's quite a bit. It's a little more technically too, I know, but that's my point. It's quite good. It's quite an increase. I know some people might misunderstand that wording. I don't mean it's doubling the million. It is only doubling this 1,000 part. It went from 7,000 to 24,000. It's slightly more than double. Simple math. Just make sure everyone understands that. That's what we're talking about. So, obviously, though, I'm not going to run that. I like the exotic class items. Even though Bungie did decide not to make them new gear, I still run the exotic class items always. Because they're that broken. Let's be honest here, they're just that broken. So, we're going to go based on the numbers of what we see with one class item on, right? So, we're looking at 1,007,000 score. Right there, 1,007,000 score. I'm guaranteed the forecast is actually good information. As long as I do all the objectives and complete it within the time frame, which is the 10 minutes, I will get this score. If I don't complete it in the time frame, then I might not get this score. But if you do complete it quicker, you get more than this. So I always complete these about 1,100,000 and something scores, what I end up with. The reason I end up with that is because I do it very quickly. Obviously not as quick as some people, but I do it quickly, and my rewards pass is max, so I get the 15% score bonus, as you see here. When you complete an activity, you get 15% score on top of whatever you had. So that's a good increase. That helps out a lot. So I get quite a bit of score extra, which is awesome for me. It means I can guarantee A tier if I'm doing B+. I guarantee A. But here's the thing, though. Let's look at these points at B+. If I switch this up to be B+, even a small decrease, I go from 1,007,000 to 978,000. That is a huge decrease. And depending on what I take away, if I decide to take away, like with this 20, right, I lose a lot more. I'm at 950 now, right? And you're probably thinking, well, it doesn't really matter, does it? It's not that many points. It actually is. These points matter more than people realize, and it actually blows me away because it's actually not a bad system, surprisingly. So, now we're going to watch Clyde's thing real quick before we explain more into this, because Clyde does the speedrun strategy.
Ladies and gentlemen, just want to point out to you a quick tip here. Do not get baited by Bungie. They just released a twid today pretty much implementing that solo ops and other grinds are going to be a little bit changed by a lot in Ash and Iron. So if you're looking to farm primes, I recommend doing something like this. Going into K1, that is a fast one, ignoring all the side objectives. Right when you get to the boss, make sure you got your super, pop your Titan hammers, and just break through the shield and do 230 runs or even faster than 2-minute runs. I just did 9 runs on stream, ignoring all the side objectives, and I got a prime. So if people are telling you to not do this strat, I'm here to prove to you that it does work. And I actually had someone do a test, 110 runs on K1, and they got 6 primes. If you want.
Okay, so we're gonna pause there because he's just the end part here doesn't matter. So he's right. You still get primes if you speedrun it. Ignore the side objective. But mind you, the side objective gives you a huge amount of points. Even though it doesn't show you the exact number, like we see here, I need 1,000,000 some. It doesn't show that number. It shows the 10,101 number or whatever it is. I don't know why it won't show the actual numbers that matter. Bungie for you, what do you expect? But yeah, he is right. You could speedrun like this. Do 230, 250 runs, whatever. Awesome. Here's the thing, though. He just said in 110 runs, right, they got 6. I'm going to do math for you right now. So we're going to pull up a calculator, and we're going to do math. So we're going to clear this. 110 runs divided by 6, because he got 6 engrams, equals 18.33 runs. So basically 19 runs. Every 19 runs, they saw a prime. Every 18 to 19 runs, they would see a prime. That is stupid. It does not matter that you're doing it a few minutes long, because in all reality, the most you're doing it is about 30 seconds faster than if you do the side objective. That is about it. Okay, if you never do this, never, and I mean never do the precision. Always skip the precision. If you get a precision one, relaunch it. It is faster that way. Trust me. Because you might be thinking, oh, well, I'll just do it his way then, and then I just skip it and I lose points. No, because we're about to blow your mind. If it takes me every single time since I've started making it a rank, it takes exactly 13 runs. Every single time. So 110 divided by 13. I see one every time at 13, and I see him at 12 as well. I have 8.4 engrams. I already have 2 engrams more than them. 2 engrams more. Which you're thinking that's not much more, right? Here's the kicker, though. Every 2 sets of 13, the third set of 13, I only have to do 12. So, this is what that math would look like, right? 13 plus 13, so 2 sets of 13 gives me a prime. That's 26, right? Plus 12. That gets 38 runs. 38 plus 38 is 76. That is already 6 engrams right there at 76. I am 6 engrams in. Already. 6 engrams in at 76. Now if we plus 38 again, right? Just because we can, it's 114. So 4 more than what he said, and I'm getting 9 engrams versus his 6. I'm getting 3 more engrams. And mind you, all the challenges take 30 seconds to 40 seconds, most more. That's all they take. If you focus doing the objectives, and while you're doing the objectives, throw some grenades out for abilities, throw a melee out if you're using a melee that can be thrown. Use, if it's weapons or just kills in generals, shoot some weapons along the way. Shoot your gun. While you're running through, just shoot and run. You can do it. So all in total, you're spending maybe 40 seconds more, or to a minute more if you're slow, and I'm getting 3 extra engrams already on top of it. I'm getting 9 engrams total, which they said 6, 3 extra, which in the long run is way better, because that's how it works. Now, if you're wondering why do I say I get 13 every 13 and then once in a while 12, because these points actually stack permanently. So, let's say it's 1,007,000, right? Let's say that's exactly what I get. I get more than that. I want that on record. I get a lot more than that. But let's say I get 1,000,000 and then 7,290. Let's say it's exactly what I get every time, right? You times that by 13, because it's 13 runs every time, you get 13,094,770. So, I don't know what the exact number is, but let's say 13 million is the exact number you need to get a prime every time, right? Your overall score after 13 runs, it gives you 13 million points. It will give you one every time, right? That 94,777 extra actually stays there and combos to the next one. So then if you get 13 runs again with 13 million, it gives it to you again, right? Obviously, it's a lot more than that it's staying, because obviously I'm doing 13 runs. 94,000 extra is not a lot, so how would I be doing 12 on the third rotation of 13? So obviously it's a lot more points you're getting out of it, but that's my point. All these points are stacking in the background, and it's why I go 13 runs I get one, 13 runs I get one, 12 runs I get one, 13 runs I get one, 13 runs I get one, 12 runs I get one. It is exactly that pattern every single time. Now mind you, I could increase it maybe by a little bit if I ran all new gear. If I ran purely new gear and nothing that's old gear, then maybe it'd be a little quicker. I don't know, because like I said, I like the exotic class items, so I don't care. But at the same time, he said in the video, and people are like, will say, oh, well, he said he got 9 runs. That is because he was running it beforehand. He hit that magical number that gives it to you. That is the point I'm saying, is you actually want to farm points, not farm speed. Because you only take 30 to 40 seconds at most, usually, for the average gamer, to a minute at most. So that little extra time, you get way more points, which means in the long run, you'll be doing less runs. He has to do 18 runs per prime, where I didn't have to do 18 per prime. That is a huge fucking difference. A huge difference. And I want people to understand that. This is how it actually works in the background. There is also a secondary system that is working in the background. You will sometimes notice you get a prime earlier than usual. Which, that could have been why he got 9. I don't know. I assume he was farming beforehand because he's been farming like crazy when he was doing it. That's why. But it could have been. It actually could have been because he got a special prime. There is a unique prime that will drop after so many runs. I've had it twice happen and it drops early. I do not know why, other than the fact there must be a secondary score in the background. So, in this case, it's every 13 runs I get one, and then 12 runs after, 13, 13, 12. And there's another one in the background that's not part of that 13, 13, 12 system. It is part of its own system. I've had it twice happen. I'll literally get a prime, and then a few rounds later get another prime. And I was like, wait, that prime dropped early. Why did I get it? And then it's like, oh, this one dropped on time, and I got it. And I was wondering, I wonder why that is. Because there's a secondary system in the background that has its own scoring or something. Or it truly is just random. I don't know. But I've had it happen twice while farming. I had it happen the early, it was like 4:05, 4:06. And then I had it happen at 4:20 or 4:30, somewhere in there. It dropped somewhere in between there. I've had it twice happen. It dropped earlier than it should have, and I was wondering why. So there is secondary numbers in the background that are adding up, and it must be a huge number since it's only happened twice. And when you hit that huge number, you get an extra prime. Awesome. This is how it actually works. I know there'll be people to try to debunk this. People will probably try to fight this. Blah, blah, blah. I have gone and done the work. I have done a fuck ton of these since I realized this. I realized, wait a second. This all started because of a bug. Now, the bug I'm talking about is, we'll mention it real quick. This one will randomly disappear. Your Banes will randomly go away. And as you see here, it massively lowers me. And if I was doing a B+ scoring, like what everyone says to do, like this, right, B+, it's even lower when this one goes away. And by the way, it doesn't tell you when this goes away. It is completely random when it happens. We assume it's somewhere in the evenings, somewhere between 7 p.m. Central and 9 p.m. Central time. Look it up online what time that'd be for you. Somewhere around there it seems to go away and reset. So, for me at least, and a few others have said they've had it as well. So it seems to be somewhat consistent somewhere between that time. It will reset. It won't tell you, by the way. The game does not tell you. The game still tells you. You're like, if you're doing B+, so like if I do this and it's right here, it will still tell you that. If you're doing A+, like I was talking about now, it will still tell you it's A while this is gone. But your points at the end will not be A rank. Or they'll be a lot lower. And that is why. That is the bug. We made a video on that. Explains it in more detail. So go check that video out if you want to know. But what I'm making apparent is this is what you want to do. You want to always be A tier. You always want to farm at the most points you can get possible. Without making it too hard, obviously. Because I could go higher. Look, I can get this a lot higher. I could go higher. Legitimately, we could go higher. Like, look at the most points that's possible. Like, we have a high point. Like, we don't use this either. No HUD, right? I can go even higher. I can have a base at 1.1 million points, which means I technically have it even quicker. But I'm not going to do this because that's just really hard. It is definitely possible to do. I just don't want to waste my time like that. I'm lazy. So I'd rather do it the minimal of A possible, which, as we know, is possible for me very easily. No issue at all. It says normal. It's very easy to do. This takes no effort. It is an A rank every time, guarantee. And again, I get a ton of extra points at the end of it. I get 15%, which 15% of a million is, what is it? Like, 150,000 or something, right? 150,000 extra points. I look at like, somewhere around, I think it's like 174,000 is what I get. I don't remember because I haven't done it today because I've been busy doing other things. But yeah, so I think it's like 1,170,000 points is what I usually end up with, somewhere in there. So yeah, I end up with a lot of extra. 15% is a nice increase. And so yeah, and the armor shows, like I said, we showed a second ago, the armor shows on this score. The extra percent, the 15%, only adds on to your completion runs, not to this run here. as far as I know, because that's the only way I can figure I get a fuck ton extra. Or that's how much the time bonus gives you, just that much extra. I don't know. But as a whole, this is how it works. This score right here is what you want. High score here equals more primes. The more primes, the better off you are. And since you can do them basically the same amount of time with a few seconds, 30, 40 seconds longer than doing it the way that Clyde showed, this is technically way more efficient. Now, yes, his way is not bad. It still works. You can definitely do it. But I think this proves that is actually the worst way to do it, because you're getting way less points and you're massively decreasing your points. Because even if I have this here, if I don't do that side objective, I don't get a lot of points. The side objective gives you a huge amount of points extra. So without them, you lose a lot of points. I don't know the exact number, but I'm willing to bet it's quite a bit, so it's not worth doing because it does go up a huge chunk on the bar. Again, that bar is not mattering that much other than just showing a general idea of what your points are like, so that kind of helpful in that sense. Goes up quite a big chunk. Makes sense to think that it is definitely going to be a huge chunk of actual points. Anyways, that's the video. I wanted to make this video because of that. Thanks to him for asking the question. We appreciate him. We thank Ostrom Kidden. I suck at names. I apologize. Thank you for asking a great question. Yes, this works. Yes, this is great. And yes, if you get the bug, it massively affects your score, as you see here. And if you are farming B+, it hurts it even more because, as we see here, I'm even lower. I lose even more points, which is crazy. So make sure you keep up the bug so the bug doesn't happen to you. Make sure you farm A tier because it is worth it in the long run and in the short run in a sense. So farm A tier. Don't farm B+. Always farm A. Make sure you have as much new gear on as you can get. If not all new gear, make sure you can get your battle pass level high. Make sure that's high. Make sure you complete these very quickly. If you complete these activities very quickly, you get more points. If you have a lot of new gear on, you get more points. And then if you get your battle pass high enough level, you get more points. So make sure you do all that. Make sure you combo it all. You are going to be dropping a lot of pinnacles a lot more often. It's way better in my opinion because it just gives them way sooner. I don't have to do 18 runs. I can do 13 runs. That is a huge difference. A huge difference in the long run and in the short run. Anyways, that's the video. Thanks for watching. If you understand the leveling system now better, let me know in the comments if you enjoyed it. If you're still confused, I will try to help out in the comments a little bit more because I know, a bit everywhere here, and I do apologize. But anyways, thanks for watching. Adios. That's the video. Y'all have a great night. Thank y'all for watching. Adios. We gone. Bye.